Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Nemesis Gaming League. I'm your very best friend, Gallium, and today we have a banger of a matchup in the Prospect League, potentially deciding the fate of these two teams come playoff time. I'm joined here by my dog, Ventus. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Both of my predictions have been correct so far. I'm going for the clean sweep. I had to root for myself in the 8 o'clock matchup, but I think that I think I have a good grasp. But honestly, prospect this match specifically, I think is a complete toss up. I think that both these teams have the ability to completely upset all of my predictions. I mean, Banshees, they're sitting at 2-8, but like they don't feel like a 2-8 team to me. They feel like in that middle of the pack range with the 4-6, 5-5 teams. And so I'm like, do I root for the underdog in Banshees? Do I think that the Banshees are going to get their third win? Do I think Faded is going to get their fifth win, kind of push themselves into that play-in position? I'm struggling with this right now. So I might say you might give a prediction first, just so I can have a little more time to think.
You know, fair enough. I'm kind of with you on this one. I think both these teams very similar skill level wise in terms of like just the eye test going in. Obviously, I've not seen either of these teams play, but honestly, I'm gonna go with the upset here. I'm gonna go with Banshees here. All right, and I think it's gonna be a 3-1 series. What say you, Ventus?
I'll go on the same train. I think that Banshees are gonna take it. I think that Gala's a really good player, but I think Banshees kind of have that upset. The air in the room is that the upset's gonna happen, and so I think that Banshees are gonna be able to take it. I think that they're gonna be able to take it in four as well. I don't want to match your exact prediction, but I mean with as good as a prediction as that is, I think I have to match it.
Yeah, it's a safe one too. You let them take a game as well. You don't want to guess sweep off rip, but as we get this game one underway, it seems as though there's some high flying action early. Obviously, you mentioned Gala. He was in the Chally League last season. He dropped down to Prospect. He's making a name for himself, and no, bro, almost slammed it past the Banshees defense. But Gala's gonna make them pay. Never mind, Aiko just absolutely denying that shot. What a nice save from Aiko. And now Nobro just watching Aiko fly over them. As Bino takes control of the ball. I believe Bino is new to Nemesis. I'm familiar with him, but he is new to the Nemesis Gaming League this season. So I'm excited to see how he performs with his newfound team in a new league. Street Soul, obviously the general manager for this Faded squad and for like 4 other teams. So, he's got a lot on his plate. So I think he's just going to let Nobro and Gala kind of cook for him a little bit. As Beto takes a shot, Gala, nice save early. And it seems as though this Banshee squad, they're wanting to find a goal early here, Ventus.
Yeah, I think both these teams came out pretty aggressively. Faded has the more shots, but I think that Banshees, their rotations have been really solid. I think that they have been playing really solid, from an aspect of maintaining midfield, making sure they have a member back, not overcommitting on offense, just overall playing a very clean game so far. No double commits either that I can remember. And I think that they're kind of just filling each other out. This might be a shot on net as this ball off the crossbar. Gal looking for the follow-up, trying to get the double touch. Neither team having zero boost. Neither team from the Banshees having any boost. And overall, Banshees walk away unscathed, but once again, Faded just laying on some early pressure.
I mean, that was almost an insane shot from Gala, but great defense from this Banshees squad. I mean, you have a team here who only has 2 wins on the season. Your back is against the wall. Those are the kind of saves you need to make. You need to make a lot of plays here to get your season out of this metaphorical mud that it's in right now. As Bino sends it over, Aiko is going to get a touch on it. Nice touch. It's going to float in the midfield. Momoko has an opportunity. That was a solid effort from Momoko. Could barely get their car over there, but, good effort all the same. As Nobro's just going to dunk out Bino. Nobro takes a touch. Gala, he has an opportunity. He hits the crossbar. Street Soul hits the backboard. And there's just calamity going on early. This Faded team, they want to score first. Neither team could find the back of the net. Maybe this is an opportunity. Momoko against Gala. And Momoko and Gala both thought the other person was hitting the ball. Both playing for 50s. I can relate to that. I don't know about you, Ventus.
Definitely some times where I will play the full block on a ball, and neither player gets the touch because they both are playing the dunk. But I mean, overall, I feel like these teams have been really evenly matched, and this is what we kind of talked about beforehand. Banshees do not seem like a 2-8 team. They seem like a middle of the pack team that is able to compete with the same like these middle of the pack teams as well. And I feel like they might have gotten a little bit unlucky early in the season. Faded, obviously having a couple more wins to their name, but I mean they're handling the punches very well. They might be getting outshot a little bit more than Faded. But overall, the defense has been really good from Banshees. They have not allowed any scratches on their sheet so far, and I think that overall it's going to be a very close game. I think game 2 might be a lot closer, but a backflip there, absolute devastation. Just as I'm hyping up this Banshees defense, a Fields backflip comes out from Momoko, and unfortunately that might be a hard fought goal, but it might be a very early deciding goal for this game, as neither team has been able to find the back of the net besides them.
It's not a goal you want to give up, and it's given up in the most unfortunate way imaginable. A little backflip, but wait a second, Aiko might have a goal here. Just barely bounces off, and Momoko can't find the 50. Aiko went up from provisional up to novice, and now is in prospect and seems to be flourishing just fine. So, you know, interested to see how they can, you know, get back into this game here. As, oh my goodness, what a touch from Gala. Nobro with the pass, and it's 2-0 Faded.
Yeah, it seems like the floodgates have started to open. Banshees had been playing really good defense for the most of the game number 1, but in the last minute we've seen a couple cracks, and Faded have capitalized. Gala, both goals to the name. Nobro, both assists. And even though the shot totals overall are pretty similar in 7-9, it just seems like Faded has had that extended pressure where Banshees have had a couple shots on net and then have had to rotate back and haven't been able to reap the benefits of that extended stay.
Yeah, you know, it's unfortunate when you look at it as, oh my goodness, a little bit of some confusion going on here in the Banshees defensive end, but they almost get it out as 10 seconds remaining. They aren't even in Faded's end right now to try to get a goal. Now they finally arrive, and we'll see if they can't get a goal. They're going to have to get a goal pretty much now, and it's over. Banshees give up game 1 and Faded. What a dominant game 1 win from them. I mean, it was hard fought, sure, but I mean, they were just, when they were in the Banshee zone, I felt like they were a lot more threatening. I mean, you see that? That is 11 shots on target. That is insane.
Yeah, I mean, Faded have had a lot of. It seems like they had a lot of pressure, and that came from the midfield. Gala had been playing very well, a lot of presence in that midfield, and I mean, he has shown up time and time again for this Faded roster. He's top 6. I think he's number 6 in goals per game in the entire Novice League, and I think that he has done really well to kind of make a name for himself to become that star of Faded. And Nobro has done well to complement Street Soul, kind of playing that back third man, allowing those cuts and rotation to occur. And it's allowed this offense to kind of shine and continuously get mount pressure because you have such fast players in Gala and Nobro just being able to cut in rotation just to make sure that the team stays on the offensive side of the ball. And I think overall it's done really well for Faded early on. Hopefully they are able to continue that in this game number 2.
Oh, as we almost have a chance early, you know, just barely off the mark there. Street Soul taking it up the field, and you mentioned Nobro. I am a huge fan of how he's playing so far. Not witnessed them play at all this season, and being right behind Gala in terms of MMR Sal, you know, I was expecting a lot, and you know, he might have exceeded my expectations. We'll see how the rest of the series goes here as Nobro takes a 50 here. And now Street Soul there for the cleanup. Street Soul sends it over to Gala. Gala tries to take a shot, but demos Momoko instead. And what a beautiful play from this Faded squad. 1-0 yet again.
Yeah, and the pressure just seems to mount. It started in game number 1 towards that second half especially, but a demo from Gala there, a double commit in the corner from the Banshees, leaves the net wide open for Nobro to come in and take that open net, giving the lead once again to this Faded roster. And Banshees, even though they've had some good offensive opportunities, haven't had any this game. They've been stuck on the back foot, and it seems like Faded has kind of solidified their hold so far on this series.
Yeah, you know, they have really stamped their logo on this series, you could say, as Aiko, almost a great chance. Momoko's got to score this, and what a shot from Momoko. Banshees get their first goal of the series, and what a goal it was.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried when I saw Aiko rotating across the net when the shot came right at that car. And luckily, the Banshees are able to find the back of the net. They do tie up this game, and it's a very good confidence booster, right? They weren't able to score it all in game number 1, so being able to come out, not only get a goal, but also respond to a deficit that they were put into by the faded roster, and just being able to come back is leaps and bounds for this team, able to generate more offense in the future and just settling their nerves a little bit, because playing on stream can be nervous.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely nerve-wracking for sure, and I understand that, most, or actually some of these players probably have never been on stream before as an interesting play on the faded defensive side of things. It seems like all their members have no boost, and it's going to get 50 back into the Banshees' end. Bino with a touch, and Nobro is going to be there to respond. The ball's floating in the Banshees' end, but what a go from Aiko. And oh my goodness, Momoko just almost puts it in the back of the net. Those two have been lighting it up as a duo. Bino has been so stout in the midfield and just playing great defense. So, they all bring their different strengths to the table, but so far, this faded team, they're not relenting. They're not giving up. They let off their foot off the gas a little bit, and that's what resulted in a goal. And it seems like, oh my goodness, Aiko just almost scored that. It seems like they're trying to get back to their offensive ways, but Banshees right now just shutting them down. Bino just barely ran out of boost, and Momoko is gonna make him pay. What a shot!
No, we'll call it a fake. Bino fakes the last defender out, allows Momoko to cut there. Banshees take the lead, and a good play from Momoko being ready in the midfield. And honestly, the Banshees have had a lot of opportunities this game. After I just was complimenting how well Faded has settled into this series, it seems like Banshees have responded quite well. And I mean, I think if Aiko can just put some shots on target. We've seen some great shots coming out from him, but they've seemed to all be off the post. If you can just put those a little bit more on target, I think that the Banshees might even have 1 or 2 more goals, because we saw that ceiling shot almost come to fruition, but he put it off the post. We saw another shot that got followed up by Momoko, but that one was off the post as well. So if he can just fix the shooting a little bit, then I think this team can be so dangerous.
100%. As speaking of shooting, Fade putting a shot on net. Street Soul just racing across the midfield. What a touch coming out. What in the world did I just watch? I'm not going to lie to you guys. I need to see a replay on this, because you see Momoko getting the pinch out, and Bino just absolutely, I mean, that was graceful. He might as well be a figure skater. That was beautiful from him.
Yeah, that doink definitely threw off that last defender and was able to make another goal for the Banshees. Aiko was also there for the follow-up. He could have gotten the shot there as well. But a flipper shot comes out from Nobro, trying to even the scoring early. But this is all 3 members of the faded roster committing on the offensive side of the ball. They have to get a clear out, and they do so. But I mean, Banshees has kind of surprised me with how well they kind of responded to this faded aggression. They weren't able to score it all in game number 1, like we said before, but it seems like they've been doing all the scoring in this game. Is Street Soul a little bit awkward on the goal line, has to take his time and make a save. Didn't want to own goal that one, but the Banshees just continue to add shots onto their resume this game.
They keep pelting the net, and it's gonna work eventually, but we'll see if they can finally break the ice here. As Gala, an unfortunate miss from him. Nobro sends it up, but Momoko, I mean, just amazing defense so far. Momoko takes it on their car, tries to get it past Gala, but what a cutoff from Gala on 0 boost. But Aiko, they're there. Nobro gets up for it. Bino tries to get a defensive 50. It's a decent 50. Gala having to 50 it with Aiko, and now Nobro has the ball on top of their car. Momoko gonna send it across the field. Momoko just sends it down, and Nobro, he's scrambling to get back, and I mean, he's not gonna get back for that. The Banshees have ran away with this game too.
Yeah, that's a great beat from Momoko. Good fake there, leaving it for Aiko. Aiko, great shot, putting it past both defenders, playing it to that back right corner of the net. He puts that one on target as well. Banshees taking a 3-goal lead, something I would not have expected. This might be a 4th. There's a skim coming out from Aiko, finding the back of the net, but forcing a save to come out from Street Soul. A great save there, being able to read that play. And, I mean, even though Banshees take this game. I still think Fate has a lot to look forward to. They did take game number 1 as well. They need to just refine their footing, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I feel like they have been very lackluster. We saw 3 shots in the first minute of gameplay, and they have not touched the Fated nets, or the Banshees nets since. They have not forced out any saves to come out, and that's really been the difference there, is they haven't been able to get anything going on offense.
And that's the unfortunate thing, especially considering how good they looked in game 1, is they looked good in the beginning of this game too, but I think Banshees kind of found that swagger and just, I mean, they were going for some insane stuff. I'm not going to lie. Like, half of those touches, myself, I would not go for those. Okay. Cause it's a little risky, but they don't care. They're on stream. They're having fun. And that unlocks a lot of potential in a lot of teams. It seems to be working for this Banshees team because they're working together in an insane manner. I mean, you had Momoko's shot towards that Fated net, and Bino just being right there in front of the shot to barely redirect it in the back of the net. And of course, you have the Momoko fake into the Aiko shot. So these guys work really well together. But as I say that, Dobro is going to find the back of the net, using a little bit of help from this Banshee squad.
Yeah, they must have felt bad, smoking them so badly in game number 2. They wanted to give them another 1-goal lead early on just to reclaim it for themselves, as they were able to do in game number 2. And we'll just chalk it up to a kickoff goal. Unfortunately, those things happen sometimes, and you just got to keep going and learn from that. And Aiko might just do that as he gets a flick past one. That ball is on target, and that's a great play to equalize very early on in game number 3. A great bump as well from Momoko early, just making it a 1v1 and just allowing Aiko all of the space in the world to get a flick past that last defender.
Yeah, I mean, that is just a great play, and you can definitely tell that Aiko plays a little bit of ones. All right, that was a nice play from them, and Nobro, he's up with it early. Nobro seems to shut me up a little bit. What a shot from Street Soul, the general manager, putting the Banshees on notice.
Yeah, and that's a great beat by Nobro. Nobro also kind of gets a bump early on Bino. It might not have mattered, as a great shot coming out from Street Soul, completely catching that last 2 defenders of the Banshees off guard. Faded once again, get the lead, and they're hoping it sticks this time because, the Banshees came out swinging in game number 2, which is kind of unexpected from how game 1 went, but if we know anything about this series, we know nothing about these series, because either of these teams can pop off, either of these teams can win, and honestly, it just seems like that's kind of what happens to Novice League. I think whoever's just on it that game will win it, whoever's better in the series will win it, but day-to-day basis, you never know what could happen with these teams. One team could be a 2-8 team, could upset a 9-2 team. You really do not know what could happen, and I think that's just showing exactly what we mean in this game as well, because Gala, a great shot beating out Bino, and, I mean, Faded look to have regained their form from game number 1.
That is a great shot from Gala. Momoko passes it to the sidewall, expecting Bino to be there, but Bino just a little too slow to that ball, and Gala's going to make you pay 24/7 for those kinds of errors, as we see Gala up with it again. Momoko waiting in the midfield, trying to control it, but it's going to go along the wayside here as Bino sends it down. Street Soul trying to get it down himself, and it's a 1v1 Street Soul versus Momoko. Street Soul trying to get the demo. That was almost a great play. Now it's a 3v1 going the other way. Bino over to Aiko. Nobro trying his best to recover and get this ball. He does, but he accidentally passes it to Momoko. I am not sure. I'm not sure of what I just watched, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I mean, a great 50 to come out from Aiko. Nobro super awkward, just trying to get a touch, and Momoko reads it perfectly. She's able to put that one in the back of the net. And, I mean, I couldn't really tell you how that play transpired either. It looked like a bit of a rotating ball side transition from the Faded team, and that allowed a couple of miscommits or mistouches from that side. But it looks like they're already back on the offense, trying to get another shot as a save coming out from Momoko clearing the ball away. But, I mean, these teams have been much more back and forth. We saw domination from Faded. We saw domination from Banshees. It seems only fair that we see a very even game to come out from both sides.
Yeah, we need to be treated to an even game here. I think both teams are playing at their peak potential here. You're on stream. Game 1, a little bit of nerves. Game 2, still figuring stuff out. But game 3, that's where it all happens. And You know, we're getting a prime example of it right here as a little bit of miscommunication is going to happen. Bino, very stout on the defensive end, saves it away. Gala tries to send it over, but Aiko there to intercept. Aiko sends it off the backboard. Momoko misses their touch, and now it's up to Nobro. Nobro tries to get a pinch, but it's not going to go. Aiko, nice touch past one. Gala tries to get it across to a teammate, instead gets it across to a Banshees player. Bino sends it off the ceiling. This could be very dangerous. Aiko, first one there. Nice touch from Aiko. Momoko has to take a shot, and wow, that was an insane shot, and an even better save coming up from Gala. Aiko with an amazing dunk. Momoko's got to score this, and Momoko will. What a play again from these two.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it was a time coming. These teams have the same exact goals, same exact shots, both having 6 each. Momoko, a great goal there to tie it up. Aiko with 2 assists and a goal as well. Both these teams playing phenomenally. We see trades coming out, blows for blow. Faded getting a lot of offensive pressure. Then we see Banshees coming out with a lot of offensive pressure. Neither team wanting to give up this game because that would put them 1 match point. But it looks like Momoko, another unfortunate own goal. We saw it very early on off the kickoff to give Faded their first goal. Seems like they're going to do it again here. And, I mean, it's unfortunate. It's super awkward. No bros there as well, so you got to make a touch. And that one's just going to kind of go in the back of their own net. And that's just kind of a morale hitter there. You know, you're a really unfortunate play. Kind of hurts the morale. Might hurt their team. But, I mean, it was a great shot. So who really is winning?
You know, if you're going to own goal, might as well do it in style. You know what I'm saying? And it's a little unfortunate, but that's why positioning matters so much. Momoko was just so awkward. They didn't know what to do. As a nice infield pass coming out from Nobro. Street Soul not going to be there, but a nice pop-up from Street Soul. Tries to get the demo. Momoko racing back. Aiko with an insane goal line stop. Prevents this Faded team by going up by 2 yet again. Momoko bumps out Street Soul. Street Soul gets another touch. Now it's up to Gala, who has full boost. Gala, he has to take his time with this. He's going to, oh my goodness, he misses. But Nobro is going to put it in the back of the net. Faded. They're looking to run away with this one.
No, it was just a pass. Gala liked to just pass it off the backboard, realized Momo was going to be so awkward she wasn't going to be able to read the touch, and then Nobro was going to get the goal. It's a selfless play coming out from Gala. He didn't want the glory, he just wanted the recognition of the pass. And, I mean, I can understand that from his perspective, right? You know, as a player who passes super frequently and 90% of the time on purpose, you know, I can feel with what Gala was trying to go for there. As this one might be on target again. As Street Soul, a good shot saved away by Momo. And with just under a minute left, Faded have seemingly taken back the game by the reins and look to close this one out.
Oh my goodness, almost a goal there from the Banshees late in this one. Momoko trying to find a goal that will ease the hurt they're feeling a little bit right now. Street Soul gets it into the corner. 2-goal deficit. Bino, they're going to have to score pretty much now. They want a chance. Momoko tries to fake out Gala. Gala almost bites on it. Momoko just dribbling it back. Gets a flick. Gets the boost. Aiko, a beautiful pass, but it bounces off the ceiling super weird. And now it's up to Gala. Gets it up to Nobro. Nobro, a nice shot attempt, but I think it's merely just a formality at this point. Faded have taken this game 3 in a very, very interesting way, to be completely honest. Both teams, they had some mistakes, they had some great plays, but I think the Banshees just made more mistakes in this one, and that's ultimately what cost them.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, you take away the 2 own goals for Momoko, right? And this is a tie game. So maybe they're getting a little bit hard on themselves, thinking like, oh, we could have won that one if I didn't own goal. You know, you just kind of got to wipe the slate clean, go next. A 0-0 game, you know, it's a best of 3, but you're down 0-1. Hey, no harm, no foul. Banshees had a lot of pressure, especially in the middle of that series. Faded kind of took it back towards the end. But, I mean, once again, you saw a lot of great plays coming out from the Banshees, and they shouldn't really write this game or series off just yet. I think they've been playing very well, and I think they just need to clean up a couple of mistakes, clean up the rotations a little bit. They still got it. I think that, and I'm not saying that just because I predicted them to win. I'm saying that from a standpoint of, you know, watching and analyzing the game. I think Banshees are still in a spot where they can compete very well in this series.
I mean, yeah, they competed in game 3. It was just a little bit of some mistakes going on that ultimately cost them that game, but it's not for, you know, it's not I think honestly, Faded did outplay them. To be completely honest, you know, the shots were absolutely just banging into the back of the net, and it seems as though they just can't miss at the moment. So we'll see what Game 4 holds for us. As Forbidden Temple is our next destination, an ideal vacation for some. My ideal vacation, just to look at it in Rocket League, as some crazy things happen in this map in particular. No, bro tries to take a shot, and oh my goodness, that's on target. Momoko has to make a great stop. Momoko gets it to the side. Aiko, they're gonna try to get up for it, and a nice block from Aiko. Street Soul gets a touch. Momoko tries to find a touch of their own, but it's not gonna go. Bino sends it up high. No, bro back pass to Gala. Gala, he doesn't really know what to do with that ball and ultimately accidentally passes it to Bino, but a big miss from Street Soul. Nobro gonna bail him out here and get the 50. What a play from Nobro here as Aiko gets a touch. Street Soul last to defend. Beautiful play from Street Soul, and now Gala with more than half a tank. Can't make the touch. Nobro up to Gala. Gala tries to send it in himself. He almost gets it into the back of the net, but that one's not going to go. And that one was a close one. If he scored that, honestly, it's not looking good for Banshees.
Yeah, and I think that this is just it's a do or die game for Banshees. Obviously, Faded up 2-1 in this series, but I think both these teams are kind of playing super aggressive. They're making a lot of mistakes. We see a lot of missed touches from Faded, a shot opportunity from Gala that wasn't put into the back of the net, maybe a little bit of shooting inaccuracy, and I think it's just the nerves. I think that they don't want to lose this game. I think that Banshees are trying very hard to win, trying to keep themselves in this series. And I mean, it's anybody's game. Neither of these teams has really come out as a clear victor for me, and I think that Faded have had a lot of pressure, but they haven't really put on like that many great shots, to be completely honest. I feel like their shots are just like testing the net and kind of just rotating back, kind of holding the midfield line. So we'll see if they're able to generate better shots or if Banshees are able to start to mount some offensive pressure.
We'll see here as Aiko almost gets a shot there. That would have been on target, but no, bro, there to stop it. A little bit of some 50 action going on here. Momoko bumps one, gets the pass out, but Bino was not expecting that, and I honestly don't blame him. That was an insane play coming out from Momoko. The ball is floating high in the air. Can any member of the Banshees get to it? No, bro's going to get to it first, though. Aiko can't get there. Momoko going to take a touch of their own. Gala gets it out. Bino shooting it. Street Soul. What a save from Street Soul. Bino back out to Momoko, and Street Soul is going to be there yet again, not allowing this Banshees team to score the opening goal. Momoko sends it down. No, bro. A very nice 50 coming out there. Bino gets it to the side, tries to get a beautiful read from Bino, and now it's up to Momoko. Momoko is a little awkward here. It's going to let Aiko go for it instead. A nice beat from Aiko. Aiko. And it's basically Aiko versus Street Soul right now. A nice bump. Bino tries to get a shot. Maybe a pass out to Momoko. It's not going to go. Momoko puts it on target. No, bro. A nice defensive stand there. And did I just see Gala jump off the backboard and bump Aiko? That was ridiculous. Street Soul going to put it in the back of the net, but that was just nuts.
Yeah, it looked like Aiko got a bump on Gala, and then Gala turned that into a bump on Bino, and it allowed them an open net as Bino was committing his last man back. Momoko kind of got the pass to the midfield, and it just opened the pathway for Faded. A crazy, interesting goal, but I mean, honestly, what else could you expect on Forbidden Temple, especially Game 4 Forbidden Temple? You never really know what's going to happen. Another close shot coming up from Gala has to be cleared away by Aiko, and I mean, overall, this game is just so back and forth. I think that Faded have kind of lucked out with that goal. I think that they were able to kind of stave away a lot of that pressure on accident from that bump recovery. But, you know, maybe it was on purpose. Gala had a great bump nonetheless. Kind of allowed a lot of space for Faded. They were able to break out, and with a minute left, that goal might be the difference maker.
Might just be. We'll have to see. Banshees haven't scored in a while, you know, between games 3 and 4. So we'll see if they can't get a goal. Here's Aiko. Sent it to the side. Bino just shooting it on target. Street Soul has to be there. Ball is still dangerous, however. Momoko gets it out, but it's not going to be a very powerful shot. Bino gets a touch, gets another, tries to double it, but doesn't have enough boost to do so. Momoko gets one touch, doesn't have the boost to follow it. Brambino sends it down. Street Soul unable to be there. Momoko fakes it out. Now it's up to Gala. Gala with a touch, with a shot. Oh my goodness. That was disgusting. And it's now 2-0.
Yeah, and that one might have been the dagger. A great pop from Gala. Great shot off that corner, getting the perfect bounce there. Able to put that one bottom left. That goal gives them a 2-goal lead. And, I mean, 13 seconds left. Banshees got to do something, and they got to do it now.
Some kickoff magic has to happen right here as Gala sends it down. I think that might just be it. Street Soul going for a highlight play. You can't really blame him here as Banshees, they lose game 4 and ultimately lose the series 3-1 to this Faded team. What a series from these two teams, but Faded, they edged them out just a little bit, and honestly, that game 4 was their best showing in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that Faded definitely was slowly ramping it up after throughout game number 2, they're slowly ramping it back up. They're getting back into it. Their pressure was getting more. Game 3, it was a lot more. Game 4, it was like all the way back to how they won game number 1. Overall, it was just a very good game, a very well played game from Faded. I think that overall they got a lot to be proud of. I know this Banshees team is technically last in the standings, and they're supposed to beat them. But I mean, I said this at the beginning. Banshees is a underrated team. I think that their record doesn't show how good they were. They had a lot of great plays. Game number 2, they looked phenomenal. I mean, they had so much going for them. Just a couple too many mistakes, a couple too many double commits. But I think that series could go a completely different way in the future.
Yeah, that's just the nature of Rocket League and the nature of this Nemesis Gaming League. As both these teams, they had a great series, but we'll get you guys to what you've all been waiting for, the All-Star reveal coming up next. I'm excited to share who got All-Star this season. Thank you again, Ventus, for casting with me. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I'll be watching you. I won't be announcing the All Stars. I know I'm not going to be on there because I should not be as a Titan League player. But you know, hopefully I'll get to see some other great names coming out. I'll get to see some fun players. You know, all of the Nemesis players that I know. Hopefully the best of the best competing in the All Star games. So that should be a super fun watch. I mean, I'm super excited to hear the announcements, and you know, just want to thank everybody again for watching. You know, it means a lot to us as casters, and we just have fun over here, me and Gallium, just kind of get cast for how we believe. You know, we just have fun, make it special for you guys, and overall, just want to give you guys a good experience.
I mean, it's always fun with you in the booth, but we're going to take you guys to the All-Star break. So make sure to stick around here as you're not going to want to miss this. It's going to be at roughly right about now. So peace out, guys.